Starter is missing his 4th game on the injured list with tendonitis in both knees, but he'll probably be back as the Bulls are trying to load up all 4 of those centers for their playoff run. Seeking win number 5 in a row are the Bulls right now. Michael Jordan. North Carolina, my home, sweet home.
Michael Jordan takes 3 of these a game and is shooting 41% in threes.
That one didn't even disturb the net. Charlotte averaging 103.5 points a game. They too can fire it up, including this man. Not this time. Rebound Wennington.
Well, in order for Charlotte to put up big numbers, Rice has to come in with a tough game, but he'll be played by Michael, and Michael being one of the better defenders we have in the league.
Pippen misses from long range. Pippen last night, still not quite healthy out of that ankle, had 7 points after playing 40 minutes. So his offensive game not the same. Kukoc with a block on the attempted 3-pointer by Anderson. And Kukoc now gets the lay-in and the wasted foul by Kenny Anderson.
Yeah, well, that was a bad foul, mainly because Kenny Anderson gets his shot blocked, and then he did not go back defensively. Kukoc not only blocks his shot, but continues down the floor. Kenny Anderson then compounds the situation by fouling. If you're going to foul, make sure the player does not get the ball up above his waist, so that way the ball will not go in, and he only gets 2 shots.
Kukoc starting, even though Dennis Rodman is back off the suspended list. But Rodman will be in the game for a good half hour at least tonight. Here is the foul on Pippen as he tries to intercept the inbound pass to Glenn Rice.
Well, now that Michael is back for the entire year, you will see Chicago during the course of the game pick you up full court after foul shots. They'll either be in a man-to-man at 100 or they'll be in a zone trap, a 1-2-1-1 press.
Early moments, first quarter from Charlotte. Bob Neal, Hubie Brown, Craig Sager with you. The Bulls and Michael Jordan with the steal. And the bump from Geiger lays it in, and that's a 3-point play.
What you have to do in this situation, I mean, it's just amazing. Here is a team fighting for the playoffs, and they've just given up a potential 6 points right here. Foul a guy hard, go for the shot block, or do not allow him to get the ball up above his numbers. That way he can only score 2 points. Here we have 2 steals, and you can see Jordan right now. He passed the 2,000 mark. He's now fourth in total steals.
Pippen kicks it to Wennington from 18.
Oh, he can hit that.
10-0.
Well, the Chief, you see, the Chief is going to be tested because Wennington can take you away from the basket and then hit that 15, 18-foot jump shot. That puts a lot of pressure on defensive centers, Bob.
It's a 20-second timeout call by Alan Bristow to try to stop the bleeding. The Bulls come up with 2 3-point plays, a block shot, a steal, 1 4-point play, and lead at 10-0 here. And this could get ugly because the crowd here at the Charlotte Coliseum already very quiet watching their teams. And I've always said, Hubie, I think sometimes when your team gets down badly at home, it's really hard to get things straightened out because you're embarrassed.
You're embarrassed, plus you're playing the hottest team in the league, and they are just as good on defense as they are on offense. Now, when you think of Pippen and Jordan, they're in the top 7 in steals. Never mind the rebounding, shot blocking, and everything else they bring.
Right there is another Jordan steal, this time from Rice. Jordan no-look pass, and Rice did step into the passing lane and made a good recovery there. Now the Hornets back. Perry missing. Rice rebounding. Loose ball foul on Chicago. Here once again is that incredible Chicago defense.
Now, we tell you that Michael is 3rd in the league in steals, and he just went over the 2,000 mark to be 4th in total steals. He will give Rice a major problem tonight, mainly because Rice is not a great ball handler.
Foul is on Kukoc. Charlotte yet to score. Geiger from 16. Not this time. Pippen saves. Kukoc on the run. Has Harper over on the left, and now the baseline.
Watch the 3 now. The one thing you have to do with Pippen and Jordan, when they're in transition, they're so dangerous behind that 3-point line.
Posting up Jordan against Anderson. Turnaround baseline jumper. It's 12-0 Chicago. Michael with 7 points in the first 2.5 minutes.
Well, anytime Kenny Anderson plays Michael, he's in the bank.
Offensive foul, the wave off on Anderson, his second personal.
Keep an eye on Michael on the post. If he can't get to the middle, he'll just throw the fade away and shoot it right up over the top of Kenny Anderson.
Ron Harper has really found a home. It was a very rough transition when he joined this team last year, but he started all 72 games this year. Number 9, here's coach, the waiter. Off of Geiger, 10 on the shot clock. Quiet Coliseum.
Yes, it is.
Down 12-0.
And we're talking, this is their 313 straight sellout, 24,000.
15-0. Pippen hits the triple. Mercy me. 15-0 Chicago. 7 points from Jordan, 3 from Pippen, 3 from Kukoc.
There he goes again.
Unbelievable. That's probably for his mom, Dolores, who is in the stands tonight. Michael, of course, the North Carolinian, has 50 seats here, and the Bulls have stunned Charlotte 17-0 in 3 minutes. Well, it's 17-0. Most football teams couldn't score this fast in 3 minutes.
Well, you can see Michael is really on his game here tonight at the defensive end of the floor. That's why we wanted to start tonight by showing differential and also to emphasize this is a great defensive basketball team. And you can see Michael broke it last night into the top 4, and you have to realize that he has done it in a shorter amount of years than the 3 guys up on top. When you break it down to steals per game, he is only 2nd per game to Alvin Robertson.
Dennis Rodman enters the game. Of course, served a 6-game suspension for the headbutting incident. You see that the fans, in their tribute to the Worm with their red hair here tonight. Rodman's back for his 2nd game. Played 29 minutes and had 12 rebounds as Chicago beat Miami just last night in Chicago. But right now, 17-0. You'd think it was the Bears and the Panthers with a couple of touchdowns and a field goal, except the Bears had never scored that fast. And there's a turnover as Glenn Rice falls down, coming around Tony Kukoc, and that's 5 turnovers in 3 minutes.
It's just amazing. 3 steals, a block shot, and a pass out of bounds. Now, if you scripted this, no one would believe you, mainly because this game is so big to Charlotte.
A rare miss, but the loose ball comes to Michael, and 2 misses in a row, and Charlotte still hasn't scored in 3.5 minutes. Kenny Anderson misses. Rodman rebounds. Jordan runs with Pippen and Kukoc. Michael kicks it to Tony for 3. 20-0.
They're absolutely murder, because when you say Jordan at 41%, Pippen at 39, and Kukoc at 37, we're not even talking about the best 3-point shooter in the league, Steve Kerr at 51.
Finally, the crowd with a cheer, not a cheer, as Kenny Anderson scores the first 2 points. It took him 4 minutes and 6 seconds. Oops, maybe on a run here. Hubie, I've never seen the beginning of a game 20-0.
You know, when you're around a long time, Bob, things like this happen. But the big thing, the shocking point is such a big game for Charlotte. But they'll get back. They'll get back because they're at home. Chicago will hit a little bit of a lull. Now, who's saying that? We're wishing for that, okay? And so are the 24,000 who are in their seats here tonight.
I heard a little bit of pleading in your voice. Posting Jordan against Anderson. This is a nightmare for Kenny Anderson.
Yeah,
he's not a good defender to begin with.
I'm surprised that Scotty went away from him. Oh, well, not really. Right after that one.
Well, Pete Myers just came into the game, and he stepped back away from Kukoc, invited the 3-point shot, and it's 23-4. Rodman now, and Johnson, there's the double team on the feed. And the Chiefs scores from Larry Johnson, who's one of the leading assist men among forwards in the NBA.
Well, you must make Chicago pay. They double team the majority of post-up people. When that happens, send the person that left the double team, send his man to the front of the rim.
Jordan, 3.
Oh, my.
Michael with 12 points and 2 triples in 5.5 minutes.
Are they on fire? I'm glad we brought out the point that they were #1 in three-point shooting.
Anderson with the lay-in and the foul. He'll step from the line. Dennis Rodman picks up his first personal. Ed Middleton and Rob, don't get that close, Ed.
Well, see, right now, when Chicago went to this lineup, by taking out Harper, Michael will move over now on Kenny Anderson, and Scottie Pippen defensively will be in the backcourt. So they have Kukoc, Rodman, and Wennington up front, preparing for the playoffs. When Luke Longley is at center and they bring Kukoc in, they want Pippen and Jordan to play together.
26-9, Chicago, 6:14 to go in the first period. Chicago 5 out of 7 from beyond the arc in this first period. Coach thought about it again. Again, posting Michael requires the double team. Coach, nice touchdown there. He's good on the move there.
Well, since he started, Bob, he's scoring over 19 points a game, and the big thing, shooting over 50%.
Anderson. Inside to Myers, who had the easy layup, which he missed.
I'm surprised he didn't dunk that because he had the opportunity.
Pippen, not this time. Rebound Rice, almost stolen by Jordan. Did you see that? Here's Kenny Anderson. Pulls up for the 3. Rebound Kukoc, stripped away by Myers. Larry Johnson tips his own miss back in, and Johnson and Wennington are getting a little rough, and Kukoc got popped on the play. He's down on the baseline with Rodman.
Yeah, you can see he's it's either in the nose or in the eye. He's looking for blood. Now just keep an eye to the left right here as he comes down. Ooh, the scrape. Yeah, that was a scrape going up. Inadvertent by Pete Myers on his way up, trying to strip the ball right there. You can see he just caught him.
Ow. 5:24 to go in the first period. 28-11 now. We were talking about how Kukoc is playing better at his starting position. Here's what it looks like on the numbers.
Well, I think you have to look and say to yourself, off the bench, he has now started 11 games. The minutes, he's playing 14 more minutes, but his points are up 9 a game, his assists are up 2, and then he's shooting 7% higher. Well, that's because he's a type of a player that has always started his entire life. This guy was playing professional basketball in Yugoslavia in the professional league at 17 years of age, and he's been on 2 Olympic silver medal winning teams, always as a starter.
Pippen from Steve Kerr, who just checked into the game and is fouled. So Kerr's in, as is Michael Adams. Craig Sager, what's the story on that injury?
Right now, they have the doctors looking at Tony Kukoc. They're applying ice, but there's some thought that perhaps it's broken. Now, the Hornets do have an x-ray machine in the locker room, so if he needs x-rays, they will not have to take him to the hospital. But right now, he's being looked at by the doctors.
All right, thanks, Greg. We'll keep you posted on the situation with Tony Kukoc. As Pippen goes to the line, Glenn Rice picked up the personal foul. Pippen with 4 points now. Doesn't look to be in tremendous pain. A broken nose might not draw a smile. How's that for a medical prediction?
Well, you're tough, that's why.
Based on emotions. 30-11.
In hockey, they just go. In hockey, they grab their nose and go rip, rip, and then they put a little tape on and they don't miss the shift.
And don't mention it to their teammates.
That's right.
Just under 5 minutes remaining in the first period. The Bulls way out, 30-11. Rice with 7 on the shot clock.
In the early going, they have totally disrupted Rice and Larry Johnson at the offensive end.
Steve Kerr's the best three-point shooter in the NBA, but he misses. Rebound Pippen. Looking for Michael.
The Bulls are #1 in the league in offensive rebounding. How about that? 15 a game.
Pippen gets it inside to Wennington. And Bill scores. He's starting at center because Luke Longley is out with tendonitis. And it's 32-11. Here's Michael Adams, who's been injured much of the year with groin problems, in replace a very struggling Kenny Anderson early, who has 2 early fouls, and that's another offensive foul on Charlotte, and that's on Larry Johnson. Craig Sager, an update on Kukoc.
Dr. Glenn Perry from the Hornets came back just moments ago, and he said it is not broken. It's merely a bruise, and they should be able to go back in the game. So, Bob, yeah, when he was smiling, you had it diagnosed right.
Thank you very much. Just call me Doc. That'll be my last medical prediction of the night. Pippen from Michael Jordan. 4:05 to go first period. Down low to Kerr, blocked by Michael Adams.
They need Michael in this game now because they're looking for another three-point shooter out on the perimeter. And also, Alan Bristow is just trying to get a combination that will do something without turning the ball over.
Inside to Parrish. Can't get it past Wennington. Rice with 5 in the clock into Parrish. That little high archer is not going to bounce in. Michael Jordan is the man who kept it alive for Steve Kerr. Bulls up 32-11. Kerr, 3. He's averaging .5212 on 3 points. That leads the NBA this year. He's having a good year.
Oh, and I'm very happy for him because once again, there is a fella who has a talent that is needed, and he's on the perfect team.
Larry Johnson into the paint with the short one that falls. It's 35-13. 3:09 to go in the first period.
This is going to be a war right now. Larry Johnson posting up on Dennis Rodman.
Kerr off the curl as it's stripped away. That's 2 good defensive plays by Michael Adams. Nice. He has the Chief out on the break with a jam.
2 old-timers out there in a 2-on-1.
Robert Parrish in his 20th year. He's 42 years old. And tonight he tied the record for the most games ever played in the history of the NBA. 1,560. Held jointly tonight by Robert Parrish and Kareem Abdul.
Was there. Sure, it's the amount of games, the amount of points, and when you think about it, he's the 13th scorer in league history at 23,000. Unfortunately for him, there's a guy playing here tonight wearing number 23 who's going to slide by him by the end of the season to move into that 13th spot. By the name of Michael Jordan.
As a matter of fact, Randy Brown's in for Michael Jordan right now. Wears number 0 for the Chicago Bulls as Michael takes a rest. 12 quick points from Jordan. He scored those in about 5 minutes, including a couple of 3-point plays. Loose ball comes into the hands of Michael Adams behind the back. Del Curry, offensive threat. Del misses. Rebound, Larry Johnson, stripped away by Randy Brown. And the Bulls never stop.
They just refuse to give an easy basket. You notice how they contest every shot.
Dennis Rodman in the post over Larry Johnson. That's a rare post-up move with no rebound involved by Dennis.
No, I really like that because, you know, why just allow Rodman to run around there? Because he can post him up.
Del Curry now has missed 2 shots in a row, and they bring him off the bench because of the offense, and he struggles. So it's that kind of night for Charlotte. Down 37-15 with 1.5 minutes to go in the first period. Here's Randy Brown. Left alone, nobody near him.
Well, he's very, very quick. He's been in the league. He was drafted by Sacramento out of New Mexico State. Has excellent quickness. He's a specialist for them. They want him to be a defender. And if you notice, he has picked up Michael Adams, and Kerr is over on Curry.
Tiger wanted to hit Larry Johnson on the post. Bad pass out of bounds.
We just like to show you what's happening here right now. Anytime that the Charlotte is going to front the post of the triangle, that will force them to run the guard around. So keep looking for this. Anytime that Chicago gets in their half-court set and they go to the power side, they'll front the center position or that post up, force them to play 2-man basketball.
Chicago on track for about a 140-point night here at this rate, and against Charlotte that could happen. 39-15. Wennington missing. Tipped in Rodman. Battled with Geiger. Rodman stayed with it.
Now think about that. That was four possessions. Dennis Rodman leads this league with 6 offensive rebounds a game.
Curry has missed his only 3 shot attempts, and now the loose ball foul is on Curry with 33 seconds. And that's an astounding thing when you think about it.
Yeah, I'm just really taken back by their intensity level this evening. Now watch this guy work. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4. And he puts that back in. That's 5. Okay, now that takes, you're getting pounded physically. You have to want the physical punishment. The toughest thing in all of basketball to teach is offensive rebounding against good teams because guys don't want to take that pounding.
Judd Bushler with the ball for Chicago now. The final 18 seconds of the period. In the double team and the foul on Sharp. That's on Darren Hancock, who's just checked into the game.
Judd Bushler out of Arizona has been in the league now for 6 years. He's a specialist. And he has been able to come in and decide a few ball games for Chicago. He's an excellent 3-point shooter. And we all know that he is an outstanding volleyball player because he plays in the 4-man professional league in the summertime.
The Beach League?
There you go.
I never missed one of those.
Yeah, but the Beach League is now paying pretty good money.
I know. I go to beach volleyball games even when they're held in Atlanta.
Now Judd is out of San Diego, and he's known. They talk about guys who can play 2 sports. Now there's a guy that could possibly, if he just would specialize in volleyball, be interesting to see if he could make the Olympic team. He has potential.
That foul's on Randy Brown. I would point out there's no beach in Atlanta.
Yeah.
42-50. 4.2 seconds to go. 42 points. That's on pace for 168 for Chicago tonight.
Well, I'm glad we covered the point that they are in the bottom 8 in 5 major defensive categories.
Larry Johnson had the double clutch for that shot, and it wouldn't fall. And that's because Rodman got in his face. Remember, Rodman was 2-time Defensive Player of the Year early in his career. But Michael, 12 points. That only took about 5 minutes. He had 3 assists and 3 steals, couple of dunks, did one for Mom and some other relatives in the stands here tonight. Craig Sager.
Well, the Bulls may have won 64 games, but they have not gotten off to a start this good all year. 42 points, second only to the 44 they scored in the third quarter of a game back in January against Philadelphia.
You are Mr. Statistics.
Chicago, 59% from the floor. Charlotte, 32. Charlotte with 32% shooting, 8 turnovers, and Chicago has 7 offensive boards.
Wow. Darren Hancock beats Randy Brown off the dribble, gets to the basket. 42-17 now, opening moments of the second quarter of play. And James Edwards, who was just activated from the injured list as John Sally was placed on that list today, is into the game. James Edwards is in his 19th season in the NBA. There's that turnaround jump shot we've seen so many times. How about it? You mentioned it earlier. Longley, Wennington, Edwards, Sally. It's something in the middle for Chicago. They'll have them all probably suited up for the playoffs. Larry Johnson battling inside, and James Edwards is in there to bang away. Chicago playing this game like it is a playoff game, and you would have expected it from Charlotte.
You know what, Bob? It's interesting because we're talking about a team that is so far ahead. They're challenging every shot. They're going for the shot blocks on every single rebound.
Larry Johnson, all-time leading rebounder at the free throw line. Shot blocking not, of course, among his weapons.
Well, we said at the top that he and Glenn Rice had got to get it going. These two guys are third in duos in regards to points scored. They're only behind Pippen and Jordan 1, and then Sean Elliott and David Robinson 2. They are the third best. Now, right now, this is the first time we've seen Charlotte come down the floor trying to pick up in a man-to-man press.
10 on the shot clock for the Bulls. Steve Kerr off the baseline curl down to James Edwards, defended by Geiger. Edwards
has one of the prettiest fadeaway shots in the history of this game. Buda with his 2 rings with the Detroit Pistons as a starter at power forward.
Hancock trying to beat Kukoc off the dribble. Interior pass stripped away from Larry Johnson.
Give Kukoc credit. That was a shot block. And then they also stripped Larry Johnson. Oh, boy, nice move.
Rodman missed it, but he was fouled. That, by the way, was Charlotte's 9th turnover in a quarter and a minute and a half.
The Bulls are right at the top of the league. They're in the top 5 in assists. And any time that you have total on selfishness, because your key players, meaning Pippen, Jordan, and Kukoc, all can pass the ball. That was a great pass.
Technical foul on Larry Johnson after that call, and Steve Kerr will shoot that. And, of course, that's a frustration foul, among other things.
Absolutely. That's how, Larry Johnson's going to get another if he doesn't quiet down.
Yeah, well, Ed Middleton just signaled technical again, but I believe now that one's going to be on Rodman. Oh, look out. Rodman quick, the officials quick with the T on Dennis, according to Dennis. He gets one there. He was involved in that altercation with Larry Johnson as he had the ball down to the baseline. So now Dennis carries 1 technical, 1 more. He'll be ejected, as will Larry Johnson.
Well, stop to think about it. He got fouled on the shot. What is he complaining about?
Loose cannon. I mean, you've got to worry about the Bulls. You don't know when Rodman is going to get thrown out of any game.
Yeah, now you see he's talking. You can see that he was talking to Eddie Middleton right there. But he did put him on the foul line. Eddie Middleton is trying to explain some now. So they hit Larry Johnson with a technical. So you're wondering what can be so upsetting that he is continuing to talk because he's getting 2 foul shots.
The Bulls know that they have a problem with Dennis Rodman. And the problem is he's such a great player, and he also is a major distraction. And Michael Adams slow to get up. He went to the floor hard, and he was fouled hard. They're calling a hard foul, I believe, on that. The signal was 2 shots, even if he had missed it.
Now you can see right now, first of all, he's had leg problems, okay? Now he's going to open up right here. And as he comes down, you can see as he hit the floor with the left leg, he plants the left leg right there. You can see that he's grimacing. See, it's the groin.
Right.
He grabbed the groin.
And Michael Adams has missed 23 of, that's the wrong number. He's missed a lot of games this year. And because of the groin injury, he's been on and off the injured list.
Well, he's only played 20 games, so he's missed 43 games during the course of the year with all kinds of problems. He is limping. He's in a great deal of pain right now. They're bringing in Kenny Anderson to replace Michael Adams.
Kenny Anderson got started in this game terribly, had 2 early fouls, turned the ball over, didn't get back on defense, and they brought in Michael Adams to bring a little stability, and that did happen, as a matter of fact.
Yes, it did.
Kenny Anderson, the man who turned down a $40 million contract, not playing like it here tonight. He's a free agent, by the way, at the end of the year here in Charlotte. Everybody wondering whether he'll go somewhere else or stay here. 10 minutes to go in the half. Bulls 45-21.
There's your guard around.
Ron Harper, new coach, 5 to shoot.
He'll shoot over the top of Hancock.
Yep. And his foul. Now a technical on Darren Hancock. Called by Steve Javie.
Oh, my. Now, he stepped under Kukoc. There's no doubt about that. He stepped under Kukoc. And then when a foul was called, he came out of there and he said something. Now, naturally, we're not privy to what he said because he's on the other side of the floor.
Nor do we want to be.
No. And Steve Javie called that one in a heartbeat.
Well, obviously, Charlotte frustrated, but this isn't helping them at all.
Now, watch how he steps underneath Kukoc right there. That was an automatic foul because he bumps him. They call it on the shot. And then as he swings out, Steve Javie is right there. He's facing Steve Javie. He makes the technical call.
Trying to plead his case with Ed Middleton. That won't help.
We keep this up, and Kerr's going to have double figures in technicals. All right, this is a foul shot.
Craig Sager.
Michael Adams out with a pulled left groin. He will not come back to the game tonight. Remember, earlier this year, he missed 21 games with a pulled right groin. So Michael Adams not back tonight.
Well, it's difficult when you're in this league for 11 years and you rely on quickness as your forte, and then to sit out, and then when they put you back in, you got to upbeat and accelerate your quickness. Well, unfortunately for him, he just hasn't had enough training during the year.
The Bulls swarm all over Charlotte. Charlotte called for the offensive foul. Del Curry, that's his 3rd foul, and we're going to get Pete Myers back in the game.
Well, you have to be impressed with the defensive quickness by the Bulls, and especially in the fact that they're taking charges all over the floor, and they're ahead by 27 points.
So Curry goes to the bench. 3 fouls. That's rare for Del Curry. Certainly not known as a defensive player, and he rarely commits fouls. But all 3 are off, or there have been 3 offensive fouls on Charlotte here tonight. Here's Pete Myers. Hornets running, but the Bulls back very quickly. Hancock brings in. Rebound. Edwards.
There are no freebies here tonight, Bob.
Well, the way Charlotte has looked the last 2 times I've been here at the Hive to watch them play in their games. They did beat L.A. the other night, but Charlotte, even if they make the playoffs with no defense at all, can't go anywhere. There's just no defense on this basketball team.
I thought Tuesday night when they defeated the Los Angeles Lakers, they played a perfect game. Now, we just want to back this up. You can see points allowed, they're 24th. The field goal defense is 28th. The three-point shooting defense, 27th. They don't force turnovers. They're 24th in the league. And you can see they only average 3 blocks a game, which is 29th. Now, what does that tell you? That tells you that they don't take care of the defensive boards, take the ball to the front of the rim every time because they do not block shots, and they're soft, and you're going to shoot a high field goal percentage against them because they're 28th. Very porous defensive team.
If you're just dialing in, that's not a mistake. It is 50-21. Bulls, 9 minutes to go, first half. That foul was on Keith Myers, 8 to shoot, traveling. That's turnover number 11 against the Hornets. Bulls rank very high in the NBA in forced turnovers. And Charlotte's one of the better teams, actually, in taking care of the ball, but not tonight.
I'm just impressed with the Bulls defense. I'm just taken back by how tenacious they are in challenging everything.
Henderson got away with a grab there. Kerr misses. Hancock open for the big jam. Very athletic Darren Hancock.
If you give him a lane, he's taking it. Very quick, and naturally, if it's up-tempo, that is playing to his strength.
Michael Jordan getting a lot of rest here tonight, and it's a good time to rest number 23. Steve Kerr misses. Steve's having all those shots really contested, which is one of the reasons he's missing, as Michael rests with 12 points, and here's Hancock.
Now, just keep a look to the right of the screen. Now, he number one, he can fill a lane, and 2, he's very quick off the dribble. The toughest thing for Hancock is to play within half-court sets, and that's where sometimes he leaves a little bit to be desired because he's a sporadic perimeter shooter. But going to the basket, on the floor, terrific potential.
Pass down to Glenn Rice with a nice play. Knocked out of bounds. It'll be Charlotte ball. 50-23. The Bulls are leading the Hornets with 8:11 to go in the first half. We talk about the difficulty with Charlotte and defense. 2 things you got to say right away. 2 people you got to mention. Alonzo Mourning traded, defensive shot blocker, intimidator. And Scott Burrell injured, their best defensive player after him.
Well, everyone talks about Bogues being out, but the key guy that's out also is Scott Burrell. And no one talks about him at that small forward position. He's their number 1 defensive player, as well as an excellent 3-point shooter. Now, he has tremendous talent. When they have at that small forward position, Rice at the 2 position, and Kenny Anderson, and then you have Muggsy Bogues coming off the bench. You're talking about 2 of your top 7 in your rotation.
Rice has it blocked and called for foul as he picked up the ball. I guess they're saying it wasn't blocked, but he dropped it and picked it up again. Ed Middleton with the call. 50-23 Chicago. 7:49. Alan Bristow's job's on the line this year. He knows it, admits it. John Bach, his assistant on the left, likewise feels the same way. So this coaching staff is desperate to make the playoffs, but you're not so sure the players are. A couple of scores in the NBA tonight. Atlanta leading New Jersey 41-28. The Hawks had lost a couple there in their battle for the playoffs, but leading big here tonight. Detroit out in front of Philadelphia in the 3rd. In the city of brotherly love.
Yes, Fuda. Oh, the big fella. I remember back when he was taken on the 3rd round coming out of the University of Washington by the Los Angeles Lakers. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar gets injured, and early he averages 18 points. He's playing great as a rookie, and the next thing you know, they trade him halfway through the season to Indiana for Adrian Dantley. Yeah. He said, what did I do wrong? And then, as you know, he went down, played at Phoenix. He's been around at a number of teams, but then the stabilizing place, that front line of Dantley, Lambier, and Edwards, and then also Mark Aguirre took Dantley's place, and you're talking 2 rings because they had 3 guards, not bad. Dumars, Isaiah, and Vinnie Johnson.
Not bad.
Not bad.
53-23, Bulls by 30. 7:17 to go in the first half.
Then they came off the bench with 2 other scrubs at 8 and 9, Dennis Rodman and John Sally.
They used to call them Vinny and the Jets, and they bring those 2 in there. And Robert Parrish is about to come into the ball game, and I've been waiting for this because I have a statistic to go for Robert Parrish and James Edwards. So let's hope they're on the floor at the same time, or else you'll never get to hear my scintillating statistic. Oh, no, there he goes back to the bench. 6:49 to go in the first half. The Bulls just toying with Charlotte here tonight. Edwards. Not this time. Rebound Rice.
You're playing a game like this, Bob, and you just have to say to yourself, look, you're down real big. You've got to say to yourself, 6.5 minutes to go. Let's try to get it to 15 to 17, and then at the end of 3 quarters, try to get it to 10. So we got a shot.
The team has gotten stronger, and we've grown, I guess, to some degree with new players, younger players, with Tony and Luke, and guys who came to the team since the departure of guys like Michael and Hortz and all the guys on the championship team. We've hit a big growth spurt, and I think this season has really been special because of having veteran players, Michael and Dennis, being able to come in and make this team a much stronger basketball team.
Well, Michael and Dennis on the floor right now as Michael Jordan comes in. Got a big long rest after scoring 12 points in about 5 minutes. Those are the word of Scottie Pippen. 7 assists, 5 points. Pippen scoring down. He's still struggling a little with his ankle. So it's Rodman and Kukoc, James Edwards, Pippen, and Jordan on the floor with a 33-point lead over the Charlotte Hornets.
Right now, 2 guys who you need to score, Rice and Curry, are both 0 for 3. And also, Charlotte only shooting 36 from the field with 11 turnovers.
Just a guess on my part. Maybe you can credit some of that to Chicago defense.
I would think so. Anytime that you can line up 3 players on one team who will be on the first team all defense, you're saying a mouthful. And you're talking about 3 guys who just don't only defend their man, but you're talking, when you say Rodman, first in the league in rebounds. When you say Jordan and Pippen, they get 6 rebounds a game at their position, which is high.
56-25 Bulls, 6:24 to go in the first half of play. Glenn Rice playing Pippen out high now, picking him up here, and Anderson matched against Jordan. They'll probably post him.
Yeah, they're just running him into the post. If he's open, fine. If not, just post him up.
They did, and he did, and there you go.
See, that's there for them all night long. No way can Kenny Anderson play him. You're better off trying to front him and jam the passer. If you give him the pass, now you're saying, well, Michael, it's up to you. You're either going to make the shot or miss the shot.
Where I'm looking there, and as Alan Bristow was telling us today, fouling Michael Jordan throughout his career is death, too, particularly in the clutch games that are close. 58-25 Bulls here.
There's your guard around.
Robert Parrish defending James Edwards. Here we go. Combined, they're 82 years old and have 39 years experience.
That's not bad. I like that. But the Chief has 2 grandchildren. Now just keep an eye now as Jordan goes in now and posts up. You're going to see, Scotty, they ran another guard around. They put the ball down inside. And then if you're not going to double team strong, see, you have to get out on Pippen because he's such a 3-point shooter. Michael will just turn to the baseline, throw the fade away, and there is nothing you can do.
Michael Jordan, and we've got Parrish and Edwards standing together with Kukoc there. I told Johnny Red Kerr, former first coach of the Chicago Bulls, who's a Chicago broadcaster now, that combined those 2 are older even than him. There's Johnny Red Kerr with Tom Dorr, the Bulls broadcaster.
Listen, one of the truly great centers back on the old Syracuse Nationals and then the Sixers. And Johnny has longevity, over 800 straight games played. Was one of the early outstanding passers for the center position.
And is what you might call large, figuratively and literally, in Chicago.
Well, played at the University of Illinois, was a great player. Michael.
16 points, 7 for 9 from the floor, 2 triples, 3 steals.
Michael is in cruise control in this game.
Well, that's as bad as when he's intense. Cruise control is about as dangerous. Larry Johnson being defended by Dennis Rodman. And then the double team. That leaves Hancock for the drive. And the dish. She's not scoring there. Rodman, another rebound. That's 9.
If you notice, Hancock took that to the basket. He was wide open for a 3. That's why Pippen left him. He's not a threat from the three-point line.
18 for Michael, 62-26. We're gonna see some of the Bulls players who don't get to play very much. They may send Jack Haley in, have him dress and play tonight. 10 assists for Pippen tonight. 10 assists for Scottie Pippen.
Now this is what Michael's been doing all night long out of the post. You see Anderson gambled that time. He's basically taking the jump shot. And if you know, when Michael is struggling in that, he will put it on the floor, take it into the middle, and attack the rim.
You saw a picture there of Jack Haley. Jack Haley has been on the Bulls injured list for 72 games.
Well, it's that lower back strain.
That's stretching it a little. There's no question about it. Jack Haley is here because of his relationship with Dennis Rodman, hoping that it will help things with Rodman. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Right. Haley's been around the league a while, and Haley at one time played in Chicago.
Now that was a beautiful explosion by Hancock to the rim. Great first step. Tough off the dribble. Majority of the time goes to his right.
Ron Harper gets in, and Tony Kukoc will go to the bench.
Now just keep an eye on him. Now there he goes. He's blowing down in through. Takes it. Will come back to the right side.
Guys, we're violating on this road in here right now.
4:18 remaining in the first half as Hancock to the line, averages 4 points. They thought he was going to be injured with a neck injury the other night. It turned out to be okay after they x-rayed it, and he's back in and said to be at 100%, but we're a little worried about him.
If you're in the Bulls organization, you're happy with this one. You played a very tough game last night at home, defeat Miami 100-92, but you were behind for 3 quarters. And what happens is you left a lot of energy. You did not get here until the wee hours of the morning because you came out on your special. The guys sleeping, and then they were here for a shoot-around, as you know, at 12 noon. And you just think about this, but then they back it up because they are 18-1 in back-to-back games. But that's because your lead players are killers. When you say Pippen and Jordan and Rodman, these guys are showing up every night.
Relentless. Robert Parrish got the missed pass and put it in, and the Hornets have finally scored 30 points. As interesting as the Bulls, who've scored 62, is that the Hornets have only scored 30 tonight. James Edwards, who is, no question about it, still a major offensive force.
Well, because of the fact he's 7 foot with long arms, he has 7 points in 9 minutes. You have got to play him because he shoots that anyway. Who's going to block that?
Yeah, he gets it behind his head, and he's fading away, and he's 7 feet tall. And the only, you know, I've seen one man block it who's not going to block it for him now, but he's played on other teams, and that's Jordan, because he comes in behind him on the double team. You see that sometimes, but you don't see it together. There's the hold. We got to see the jam by Michael, even though it didn't count. Next Friday night, possible tune-up for the upcoming playoffs. Indiana and Orlando square off from the O-Arena in Orlando. Hubie and I will be down in Orlando to see that. We just saw Penny Hardaway. How about Penny Hardaway last night getting tossed just like that for taunting after the jam?
Yeah, and then the fact that he had 15 points in 17 minutes when that happened, and then the team is up 19 in the second half and they blow the game. That was a big loss. Good win for Boston, but next week our game will be a big game because Indiana is in a battle. Not only with the Knicks, which you just thought it would be Indiana Knicks, now we have Cleveland, we have Detroit, we have Atlanta, everyone breathing down someone's back. And in the next 2 weeks of the season, 2 weeks and a few days, you think now you could slide from 3 to 5 or 6 in a heartbeat.
Michael Jordan, with that free throw, has scored 20 points in 13 minutes. Just another way to talk about Michael. Marty Aronoff is always trying to find a new way to do stats on Michael. The others are just so what? He does it every night. 66-30.
Larry Johnson are non-existent in this game. And then your real big-time scorer off the bench, Del Curry, also blanketed.
And got 3 quick fouls to boot when he did come in.
See, the sad thing about this is because you do not have a tenacious type of a defense, it's difficult for you to come back. The only way you can come back is to shoot a high percentage and have Chicago go into funk.
The NBA on TNT is brought to you by the...
Now you're saying, why should I be watching a game that's 68-30? Because it could be history making. Chicago's on a pace to win by 76 here tonight. Normally they win by 11-8.
You can see where they're third in all-time records. The 72 Lakers at 12-3 and a 71 Milwaukee at 12-2 with Kareem and Oscar and Danridge when they won the championship. Then they came right back for the 4th best record in 72. And then you had the Chicago team in 92. So what they're doing is something so difficult, Bob, because you must have not only a great offense, but then your guys have to be into it night in and night out at the defensive end of the floor. It's beautiful to watch what they're doing here this evening.
However, they'll probably have to have security guards for the Charlotte team when they leave tonight. This crowd is upset with the performance by the Hornets here tonight. It has been dastardly. Glenn Rice and, as you pointed out, and Larry Johnson have not been able to do anything, and everything that Alan Bristow's tried off the bench also has failed. Usually Del Curry can come in, and if nothing else score, he couldn't do that.
We always say at playoff time, it's the coaching staff's their job to get their 3 best players high percentage shots in their best field goal areas. This is a test there tonight. And you can see these 3 people that you just mentioned cannot get a high percentage shot. They are being double and triple teamed and then either stripped of the ball or the shot is blocked.
That was Glenn Rice's first point of the night, to give you an indication there. And Alan said something interesting when he met with him today about Glenn Rice. Is, you know, we don't run that many plays for him because he finds a way to get his shot. He's a scorer. Well, that's well and good unless you're playing a defensive team like Chicago. And then you do need to have a way to get his shot.
Absolutely.
I knew that's what you would have said if I'd given you a chance to say.
Nice block by Hancock.
And Parrish gets it off to Pete Myers, who, by the way, was the man who replaced Michael Jordan in the lockout when Michael retired for Chicago.
And had a terrific season.
Yes, he did. 68-32 Bulls. Minute 50 to go, first half. Remember, this could be record-setting. Could be the biggest point spread ever. So don't dial this up, folks. You'll be saying you were there, even if you weren't.
Remember when you just brought this up about Pete Myers? Think back. Pete Myers was working out with the Bulls, going over to Europe. He was going to play in Europe for the 2nd year in a row. And all of a sudden, Michael Jordan retires. Pete Myers no longer going to Europe. Not only is he on the team, but he starts 82 games, plays in the playoffs, and all he was looking for was a workout.
He was kind of the Lou. He was kind of Lou Gehrig to Michael's Wally Pipp. 1:28 to go in the half, 71-32. If you double that, you can see pretty easily that the Bulls are on pace for 142 points.
Right now, the Bulls have made 8 of 13 threes. They have 20 assists in 24 field goals.
And Larry Johnson, missing there, has 8 points. Glenn Rice has only 2. Matt Geiger, who's been playing very well for Charlotte lately, has not scored in the game, and as a matter of fact, hasn't played very many minutes here tonight. 9 minutes, and that's a little bit of a surprise. Harper with the rebound. Nobody even going for the ball for Charlotte. And the fans booing.
Yeah, and they have a right to, because they're not seeing any type of an effort on the defensive board. The Bulls are just absolutely just shooting and then just getting the rebound. And how about Winnington? I mean, the Bulls center, they're tough. When you say Longley, you got to play him in the low post. You got to play James Edwards. You got to get out on Winnington because he can hit the shot. And Sally's a defensive specialist.
And a shot blocker, exactly. Right. Sally just went on the IL today, and that list just kind of a yo-yo thing for the Bulls right now with their centers, because they'll play those 4. They'll have those 4s on the playoff roster.
Well, they always have that since Phil Jackson has become the coach. They make sure they go into the playoffs with 4 guys who can play that position.
Traveling called on Harper with 3 seconds to go in the half. Coming up, the Reebok halftime report. All of tonight's scores and highlights. Look at milestones in the NBA this season. One of them here tonight with the 1,560th game of Robert Parrish. Michael Jordan, of course, his 8th scoring title. And Dennis Rodman will win his 5th consecutive rebound title with Reggie and Ernie Johnson Jr. in the studio. This will be the... Well, there may be a foul shot here. Don't go away yet on Kenny Anderson. Let's hold it here.
Yeah, they fouled him, giving him 3 shots.
Well, that's a chance to get well. They're down 73-32. They could be 73-35.
Now, Bob, 2 guys fouled him. And you said, well, they're only up 41. Why didn't they just allow him to take the shot? Because that's the kind of half we have witnessed.
And that's the way, it's a good, I think, tribute to the way the Bulls play.
Absolutely. They are challenging every shot. Anyone dribbling, they're back in double-teaming the guy with the ball. And they have picked up every loose ball in this half.
Kenny Anderson has also had a pretty weak performance here. That's his 8th point. He's only 2 of 7, however. Chicago has shot 58% in this half. Charlotte only 31%. They put 0.3 of a second back on the clock. That's the minimum that you can put back on. But once the ball is back inbounded, as Anderson misses the second, it'll end the half.
Now remember, Rice scores 22 a game, Johnson 21, and Curry 15. That's why this is so impressive.
And right now, Rice and LJ and Curry. LJ is 3 for 7, Rice 0 for 4, Curry 0 for 3. And it's 73-34, and a chorus of boos for the Hornets as they leave the arena.
On the verge of a return to the postseason, scoring 7 times, and it looked like the Dipper would share that record with Michael Jordan. But then, lo and behold, Jordan returns from retirement, and MJ, with a 4-point lead right now on Akeem Olajuwon, will record an unprecedented 8th league scoring title. Now, Jordan has a better career average than Wilt, 32 points a game in his career. However, Wilt did average a measly 50 a game in 1962. Jordan's teammate Dennis Rodman leads the NBA in rebounding and will tie an NBA record for consecutive rebounding titles with 5, dating back to 91-92. He will share that honor with Big Mo. Yeah, Moses Malone just ruled the boards in the early 1980s. These two also switched teams during their runs. Moses led the Sixers to the promised land in '83, his first year with the squad, and Rodman hopes to do the same with the Bulls. Talk about titles. Bob Cousy won 6 NBA crowns and led the league in assists for 8 consecutive seasons from 53 to 60. John Stockton will lead the NBA in assists for an impressive 9th straight season. However, he's still looking for his first championship ring. He's averaging 11.3 assists per game, his lowest average as a league leader. And what's really impressive about these two playmakers, the durability factor. Cousy missed 23 games during his 8-year run, and Stockton, amazingly, only 4 games. Finally, the NBA didn't record block shots until the 73-74 season after the careers of Wilt and Bill Russell. However, it looks like Dikembe Mutombo will lead the league in NBA block shots for the 3rd straight year. 4 other players led the league for 2 years in a row, but Mutombo's been the man in the middle for Denver in an otherwise unproductive Nuggets season. Mutombo's numbers at the moment put him 5th on the all-time season best list. He will be back in Denver, or will he be back in Denver after this season? In the annals of NBA history, this date is a biggie, folks. Let's go back 12 years to a game that was played in Las Vegas. That's where Utah played a couple of home games. April 5th, 1984, the date, as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar hit the skyhook over Big Mark Eaton and passed Wilt Chamberlain for the top spot on the all-time NBA scoring charts. Now, over the years, when you heard skyhook, you thought Kareem. Since his retirement, it has become somewhat of a lost art, but you still see it every now and then. And even this year, you see it from time to time from guys like the Storm and Mormon. Sean Bradley, he's picked up his game since he's been traded to the New Jersey Nets. Arvydas Sabonis tries it himself, too. The tapes of Kareem, though, just now getting through customs in Lithuania. And Magic Johnson, he has shown that more than one time in his comeback this year with the L.A. Lakers. And your take on Magic and what he's been able to do with Kareem's old shot.
Well, you know, the hook shot has really become one of Magic's bread and butter moves now. The key to the hook shot is footwork. You know, it's just like squaring up on your jump shot. With the hook shot, you have to get your footwork right, and you have to turn that shoulder. That's the key. Magic Johnson, Kareem, all these guys using it use the same thing.
we got instruction on the hook shot.
And Robert Parrish with the presentation at halftime for his record-tying start. And let's listen to him for just a moment.
Rewarding and gratifying for me because it represents longevity and consistency. So I'm very proud of this award. Also, it's a very happy moment for me to be able to share this moment with my teammates, the organization, and most importantly, the best 6 men in basketball, all of you.
The words of Robert Parrish, you see, they gave the Chief for his record-tying 1,560th game a grandfather clock. Somewhat appropriate for the 42-year-old concluding his 20th season in the NBA.
Thank you much.
Robert Parrish, classy gentleman. He's had a great career. He tied another one by the name of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And Hubie, you said earlier, along with a lot of people, and matter of fact, Robert Parrish says it. Here's a man who came into the game. He said this himself without much enthusiasm. 73-36. By the way, the biggest NBA blowout in history occurred December 17th, 1991, when Cleveland beat Miami 148-80. That was a 68-point lead at the half differential. At the halftime, Chicago's on pace for a 78-point lead. So you ask, why watch a game like this? It's history making. Plus, you're watching Bob and Hubie have to earn our living.
Right there, you just saw the unselfishness of this team. Harper had a wide-open shot, a player running at him, but he had a nice 8 to 10 footer, and he drops it off to Pippen.
Kenny Anderson scoring here. Charlotte, by the way, has lost. They're down by 37 now. Charlotte has lost by 40 twice in their young franchise history. November 4th, 1988 to Cleveland, 133-93. Then in 1989 to Seattle, 128-90. They have been here before. Rice gets the block. And Chicago's biggest win has been by 58. They could eclipse that margin here tonight. Let's see if there's any pride left in these Charlotte Hornets players. You know there's some pride in Robert Parrish, who gets the dish from Anderson, and he will go to the free throw line. The foul will be called on Tony Kukoc.
Now, this is a nice drop-off by Winnington, but then we get Rice to the right of your screen, coming right out of there for a nice shot block. In this game, in the first half, Chicago dominated every stat. The forced turnovers, but 2 stats stick out to me. They made 8 threes, plus they doubled the rebounding, 30 to 15. Now that's impressive.
I wonder, and I would love to have been able to ask him, I wonder what Alan Bristow had to say to these players.
Well, you know, all you have to show them is this. A team that is shooting 58% also had 8 offensive rebounds. So what are you guys doing? You know, where is our front line? Our front line is invisible here this evening.
They probably said, this is your going away present, Alec. Robert Parrish gets the rebound off the Jordan miss. Michael in the first half had 20 points, 2 threes. Johnson gets it into Darren Hancock, who rattles it home. The Bulls a little bit softer defensively here to start this half as the way they played when they opened this game. The statement was made very early.
Well, they're going with Darren Hancock to play Michael Jordan and also give them a little quickness.
Kukoc, that's a 2. He just stepped on the line. 77-42.
Now, Kukoc has 18 points in this game. He's 6 for 6 from the field, 3 for 3 in threes, 3 for 3 on the foul line. Not a bad hit.
And career night last night, 34 points, his career high.
Well, in the second half, Bob, he was big. He had 18 big points in the second half.
Just in case you were thinking there was some hope for Charlotte, we thought we'd point that out. Larry Johnson traveled. That's a turnover. And that's number 12. Coming up Tuesday night, Lakers will take on the Denver Nuggets live from McNichols Arena. The Lakers, to say they've been hot as of late, will try to hold off Denver. Lakers trying to hold on to 4th to open up the playoffs against Houston. And our NBC partners on Sunday have an excellent doubleheader. One I want to see, well, both of them, but one particularly is San Antonio versus the Lakers. That could end up being a couple of teams in the Western Finals, in my opinion. And Chicago plays Orlando, the 2 best teams in the East, on NBC on Sunday.
You see, that's what coaches go nuts about. All right, there's a shot that just was sitting there. Kukoc, not a great rebounder, walks in, taps the ball, and you just don't even see a white shirt
anywhere near it.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Look out here.
3-on-2. Kukoc spots up. Hancock got to him. Rodman. had a chance to score that and probably should have. Winnington walks. 8:32 to go in the third quarter. Here's what we're talking about, the lack of defensive rebounding presence.
Yeah, you're going to see the move here. Now, once the shot goes up, keep an eye right in the lane right now. You have 3 white shirts. Nobody jumps for the rebound.
79-42, Chicago, 8:22 to go, third quarter. Rice hits a triple.
Now, that is Rice's first field goal of this game. He's 1 for 5. He pushed off Michael Jordan, and Michael went down to the floor. That's how he opened up.
Anderson trying to defend Jordan. He sees his life flashing in front of his eyes. He, however, defended him there as Michael committed a rare turnover.
Well, that's
a flaw? A human flaw?
Oh, no. Well, listen, hey, they had one bad thing in the first half. Steve Kerr was 1 for 6. that was the only negative they had in the entire half.
Steve. 79-45, Chicago. Glenn Rice. Pull-up jumper on the baseline. You know, he's still playing with that sore wrist. Parrish offside rebound. The Chief puts it back in.
Now, Chief is 4 for 7 for the floor. He has 7 points, 3 rebounds. He's one of the few people that is doing his normal average in this game for Charlotte. There's your guard around.
It's more than a guard around. It's Scottie Pippen around, too.
Well,
big trouble. He's fouled.
You know, we always say the guard around, and it's usually either Jordan or Pippen coming around, all right? So if you trap them, they hit the guy rolling. If you don't trap them, they score, or they take you to the hole and they get fouled.
Well, you said this to me. We were talking one day about the triple post offense. You said, yeah, it's really a good offense, but of course, then at the end, if everything else breaks down, Jordan, Pippen.
Well,
anyway.
Yeah, and what you're looking at it, honestly, fortunately for them, when the shot clock gets to 5, no matter where the ball is, Pippen or Jordan eventually will have it. And then you have a guy who can beat his man off the dribble, commands a double team, and will find a free guy if he is not open.
And Scottie Pippen, who's shooting free throws at a 67% mark, came into the league, could not hit a free throw, and has now gotten to where he shoots nearly 7 out of 10. So he'll hurt you there, and I don't know what his numbers are because they don't keep these stats, but probably the final 4 minutes of the game, I have a feeling Pippen's free throw percentage is a lot higher than that. 80-47, Chicago.
The big thing about Scottie's game is the fact that he takes 5 threes a game and shoots 38%.
Edwards fouls Parrish.
Interesting today, Alan Bristow making a statement about Robert Parrish. They're not concerned about how many minutes he plays now. They needed him in the lineup. They thought that he would add some defense. In the win Tuesday, right here against the Lakers, he had 7 blocks with 8 rebounds. And you can see right now, the 30 minutes, while he's been starting now, the 9 points, the 10 rebounds, and 3 blocks. Not bad for a guy who's 42 years of age.
Robert Parrish himself says that Clifford Ray had an impact on him, that he came into the league Robert came into the league not much of a intensive player.
The guy, you're right, he gives him credit, but also the fact that he went into the martial arts. Now, he's a black belt, and he works continually on loosening up. He adheres to all of the rituals, all right, and he takes great care of his body.
And Hubie's talking about Robert Parrish, not me. Sometimes.
For some reason, I just don't think they were thinking Bob Neal. All right.
I asked for that. 82-48. And the shot clock is down to 3. Rice is going to have to launch a long one. It did beat the clock, but the rebound comes into the hands of Dennis Rodman with 11. Dennis had 12 rebounds last night in 29 minutes as the Bulls beat Miami in Chicago. Hand off to Pippen, knocked out of bounds from Edwards.
Well, any time that they throw the ball into the post on a strong side, they'll send the guy from the corner on the baseline, and then the passer has an option.
The NBA on TNT is brought to you by Dutch Boy Paints. Give your home the lasting look of Dutch Boy. And by Chevrolet Trucks.
There's a place where UV rays beat down so mercilessly they're nearly twice as intense as the sun's. No, it's not some blazing spot in the equator. It's the Dutch Boy Paint testing facility. for we test our exterior house paints to make sure they resist fading, blistering, and peeling. It's one of over 75 tests we do to make sure that when you buy Dutch Boy, you're not just getting a paint that looks beautiful. You're getting a paint that lasts. We guarantee it. Give your home the lasting look of Dutch Boy.
When we developed our advanced handling and driver control system, we looked to Lexus and BMW. But we didn't stop there. Chevy Blazer with the exclusive driver control system. Even if you never take it this far, it's nice to know it's there.
I've got a problem. I love to read. So when I start a good book, I can't put it down. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. I have to keep reading. Then as soon as I finish, I can't wait to start the next one. I better get started.
Well, happy Easter. Already decked out for the holiday weekend. 82-48 Chicago. A couple of tough games left, and some others might be, but Orlando away and Indiana at home.
Well, you can see that there's no question. They're going to win this game tonight. They'll have their 65th win tucked away. You know that they're going to win at least another 5, you know, in this match. And you can see that they are playing for that. It's something which no one can ever erase. They'll be in the record books, and then their next mission will be the ring.
And that's all that will matter, because the rest won't if they don't win that.
Absolutely.
And while Edwards is on the floor with Parrish, I have another Parrish-Edwards stat. I'll give you in a minute here. I can't wait to tell you. Michael Jordan hits the shot. I told you earlier, Parrish and Edwards combined to be 82 years old in this game tonight. But between them, they've scored 20 points and are 8 of 14 from the field. Hey, another stat. Thank you, Marty. Okay, 84-48 Bulls, 5:48 to go third period. Del Curry hits that one, came in ice cold. Curry now has his first field goal of the game. Bulls lead by 34. Rice on Kukoc. Anderson trying to steal it from Jordan. Dennis Rodman, rebound, Pippen into the 3 on the Jordan.
Look out.
Jordan's miss turns into a bigger problem than his hit.
Well, that's their 9th 3 of the game. They're 9 for 14. Scottie Pippen this evening is 3 for 7 in threes. 3 for 7.
And 13 assists.
Not bad.
So I think Scottie may be well. Michael Jordan at ease with the score. 37-point Bulls lead. 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Steve Kerr, speaking of three-point shooters, the best percentage-wise, and the NBA is about to come in for the Chicago Bulls. Is this the best Bulls team ever compared to even the ones that won the championship?
Well, they
haven't won yet.
Well, they haven't won the championship yet. Let's wait a while. The package is there. And you know, they should. They're going to be heavily favored in every series, providing Jordan and Pippen, as well as Dennis Rodman, are available.
10 three-pointers, 92-52, lead of 40. The Bulls have tried 15 triples, have hit 10. Again, nobody in their face. And by the way, Charlotte gives up one of the league's highest percentages of three-point shots. Again, a lot of defense. Anderson gets it to Larry Johnson.
See, Bob, you brought out the major issue in this game. At one end of the floor, the guys in red are all climbing all over every shot attempt. At the other end of the floor, the Bulls continue to get uncontested shots wherever the pass goes. Sure, they're running a triangle offense, and they're shooting threes out of the triangle offense, totally uncontested.
Chevy scoreboard here tonight. Atlanta doing well. Detroit also beating Philadelphia 108-87. Both of them, of course, battling for playoff position, as is the New York Knicks. The Knicks as are the Knicks, I should say. The Knicks in the number 4 spot in the NBA. And we'll keep you posted on that. CNN Sports Tonight will have highlights for you. Rodman, no-look pass, intercepted. 92-54 Bulls. Anderson. penetrating and scoring. Kenny Anderson now has 13 points.
Well, Kenny has played well since he has joined this team. You know, he's averaging like 14 points. He's shooting a high percentage, and for him, that's big because basically he's a 39-40% shooter throughout his entire career. The assists are there. He's averaging about 9 a game. This is a good style of play for him, even discounting tonight.
What will he be back here next year?
Well, that's interesting also.
Rodman, Hooks, Johnson, and Oxendale.
It'll come down to, A, do they want to pay what he turned down in New Jersey? You know, he turned down 6 years at $6 million a year. Now, will they want to pay more than that amount of money? Will they offer him that amount? Will they offer him half of that?
Get a sneak peek at the summer movie starting Tuesday night after the NBA on TNT.
Of all the things trucks can do, there's one thing that's never been done before. Only Chevy trucks have ever won back-to-back Motor Trend Truck of the Year awards.
It's here, your one-stop family entertainment spot, located at the crossroads of San Vicente and Venice Boulevard. It's World on Wheels in Midtown Club and Bowl, providing excitement and fun for all ages. Every night is a special night at World on Wheels. Adult oldies, gospel, and family night. Saturdays are open skating for all ages. The fun keeps going with Midtown Bowl. And for the adults, Club Midtown lets you party and dance with the cheapest bar drinks around. Skate, bowl, and dance at World on Wheels in Midtown Club and Bowl.
A lot of tire stores talk about fast service, but now there's a place that guarantees it. It's called Just Tires. They guarantee 30-minute tire installation, or they'll discount the price that's already, get this, guaranteed low.
At Just Tires, we'll install your tires in 30 minutes or take 20% off the price.
Did I mention they were guaranteed? That's not just talk. That's Just Tires.
Just Tires. Low prices, fast service guaranteed.
We're going to show you a great out-of-bounds play. Here's Michael Jordan right here. The basketball is here. Now, on initial move, you're going to see Kukoc go over here, but don't look at that. Just watch. Now, we're going to freeze it right there. Now, you saw Michael Jordan come out to here. Now he's going to get one screen. Here's the second screen, and watch Jordan come around. The old story, go away from the basketball for your screens to free up a man. Beautiful. Excellent execution. That type of a play is needed at playoff time when you need a big hoop. And you could see Michael rubbed and then got a staggered screen.
And we get the jump ball here at the Chicago end of the floor. Goes to Charlotte, down 92-56. 2:56 to go in the third. Kenny Anderson has heated up a bit here and has 13 points in the game now. Down to Larry Johnson against Dennis Rodman. And the foul is called. We're talking about Luke Longley, has been on the injured list, and Hubie, Gina, our very competent assistant, asked me why he was dressed like this. Aren't they supposed to wear suits? Do you have an answer?
No, I don't. Now, you know, some teams have a dress code, and some teams do not. Everyone over there has a suit on, but they're all coaches. Haley's sitting there with a sports shirt on.
There's John Sally.
Now, John Sally's dressed to kill because he just signed to the end of the season. He's trying to keep everyone happy.
See, Haley doesn't have a tie, but he's like me. He's in a fashionable tieless look.
Hey, Luke Longley is saying, look, I'm the starting center on this team, and I'm having a great year. I'm from Australia, all right, and I'll do whatever I please.
And I can knock you into next week if you want to mess with me.
And that we know because we have seen him do that in a few brawls.
He is a tough Aussie. More stars in street clothes than uniform, not really. Kenny Anderson gets it to fall, and the foul is called on Anderson. Wave it off.
Yeah, see, I don't like that kind of a call, mainly because he did not take the charge out far enough.
Yeah, he's under.
Yeah, you're going to see it. He's way below the dotted line when he takes it. And that, to me, you can't do that, mainly because of the stars in this league. We'd have guys undercutting people night in and night out. That's okay at the high school and college level. But at this level, this is their livelihood. They're playing their careers. This is their profession. You can't have guys get low bridge in this league.
James Edwards, 11 points.
Well, James Edwards, as we know, is a great post-up player. And he looks for his shot all the time. Now, they talk about guys who don't get many assists. James, you know, will always find a way how to get that shot off.
He has the Kevin McHale Black Hole Award. Goes into him, never comes out. Pippen.
Well, you can see that James was injured severely, and that's why he was on that injured list.
He wasn't real happy about being on the IL. John Sally was moved there today, and Edwards came off of it. Inside to Edwards. Look at this. Some more scores in the NBA tonight. We showed you earlier some. Washington, look at that, leading San Antonio, but now by 11. They were up by 20. Washington was. Spurs coming back there at home. Denver leading Portland 43-38 in the second quarter. That's a playoff race for Denver. That's why that's significant. And Minnesota's leading Utah at Utah. 94-58. Bulls, minute 30 in the third. 18 on the shot clock for Edwards, looking for Rodman. Not a really good entry pass to Michael. Had nowhere to go with it. Geiger and Curry are on the floor with him, along with Anthony Goldwire, who is a CBA call-up who came in when Anderson got hurt. Wears number 5 for Charlotte and played very well the first few games.
Well, he's done a very nice job here. He came up from Yakima in the CBA league where he had played the 2 previous years. He was born in Florida, attended high school there, played his basketball at University of Houston. And it's nice because he stepped up. He did a good job. But, you know, the games, Bob, are so pressured for a young guy. He stepped in when Kenny Anderson sprained his ankle. Muggsy Bogues has only played 6 games this year because of the bad knee. And he had primetime minutes. Now, to do it night in and night out at this level, people expect him to play as well as Bogues and Kenny Anderson.
Goldwire to Geiger, who's had very limited minutes tonight. I expected Matt to play more, frankly. It's only 11 minutes of action for Matt Geiger tonight, who's having, Robert Parrish said, I think he's been the most valuable player on this team this year, meaning Matt Geiger.
Now, Goldwire, that was his 26th 3 of the year. He's shooting 39%.
For Anthony Goldwire.
I'm happy for the young man. He usually attempts 2 a game, and I'm glad we brought out the point. He shoots it at 39%. He's shooting higher in 3s than he is in 2s. He's only a 38% shooter in 2s. But keep him behind that line tonight. He's on fire. They have him matched up with Steve Kerr.
6-second difference, as you see in the shot and game clock. Kerr fouled by Goldwire with 2 seconds on the shot clock.
What I like about the Bulls this evening, they're working on an open floor offense also. We know that they run the triangle 95% of the time, but basically here what they're doing is keeping the floor open, and they're also running a form of a passing game. They had screen downs on both sides of the lane that time.
Buechler comes into the game for James Edwards. And there is Buddha going to the sideline. Speaking, however, of the Chicago Bulls, we had a shot of Phil Jackson just a minute ago. Will he be back in Chicago next year?
Oh, I think that they're going to re-sign him. I have to have faith in their organization. Michael Jordan wants Phil to stay. So do all of the players. I think that would be his first preference. And you know that if they're all intact, they have another shot next year.
Sure, and I think you said the main thing. Michael Jordan wants Phil to stay.
Yeah, well, then again, they also have to re-sign Michael Jordan. And I read an article out of the Chicago Tribune the other day that said that Jerry Reinsdorf, the owner of the team, is a very difficult and hard negotiator, and he will get Phil Jackson for less than what he wants and Michael Jordan for less than what he wants. Well, all of that remains to be seen. All that is talk. And you know yourself, if they should win the championship this year, that will put a lot of pressure on the ownership to retain the coach, keep Michael Jordan happy, and keep this team intact.
Rodman, 17 rebounds. After this commercial timeout, Ernie Johnson Jr. will update us on what else is happening in the NBA. Stay with us.
What do you get when you combine springtime with spectacular prices? The Ace Springtacular Sale, where you can get help on all your spring projects at incredible Ace prices. Think springtacular.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Gillette presents a unique antiperspirant for men. Gillette Clear Gel Antiperspirant. Unlike a stick that can stay in your underarm hair, this is a soft gel. It goes cleanly through the hair, directly to the skin surface, to fight odor and wetness where they begin, for powerful all-day protection. And its clear formula leaves no white residue. Gillette Clear Gel Antiperspirant.
There was a time when we didn't have a worry in the world. Today, well, we seem to be making up for it. That's why you need Chevy Lumina. A car so well engineered and affordable, you could have it paid off long before it needs its first tune-up. Chevy Lumina, because nobody's got enough money, and everybody's got enough worries. The cars more Americans trust.
Genuine Chevrolet.
Gravity by Foot Locker. Of all the laws of nature, you are my least favorite.
It's not your fault you exist, but gravity.
You are no friend of mine.
You do not belong in my house. Though you show up every morning.
I defy you, Gravity. You are not my obstacle.
That grin you see, that's me knowing I will beat you.
If only for an instant.
Even if it's just for an instant.
Foot Locker, where it all begins and gravity ends.
What do you get when you combine springtime with spectacular prices? The Ace Springtacular Sale, where you can get help on all your spring projects at incredible Ace prices. Think springtacular.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Ernie Johnson in Atlanta. We'll get you back to Charlotte for the fourth quarter of the Hornets and the Bulls in just a second. How about some bonus coverage? How about the Washington Bullets? You know, they still have a shot at the final playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. They are 3 games on the loss side behind Miami and Charlotte in that race. Let's bring you some bonus coverage as the Bullets play in San Antonio. They've had a double-digit lead in this game over the Spurs. We turn it over to James Brown and Phil Chenier.
Much more than getting in, going to the basket. And we'd like to welcome the TNT viewers to our telecast here at the Alamo Dome. The Washington Bullets in red taking on the San Antonio Spurs. Bullets have been in command and lead at 65-53, 8:50 left in the third, and Sean Elliott picking up just his 4th point. Sean Elliott averaging 20 points on the season, but he's had a tough go of it tonight.
That was a nice move by Sean. One of the few easy shots he's seen.
Juwan Howard, rebound by David Robinson. Robinson with a big evening, 20 points thus far. And Elliott warming up. And Jimmy Lynam doesn't like it, so he decides to call a timeout. And the Bullets will talk it over, leading the San Antonio Spurs 65-56.
That is bonus coverage from San Antonio, where the Spurs have won 12 games in a row on their home floor, but Washington's given them a battle tonight. How about the New York Knicks and the Milwaukee Bucks? They're playing at Bradley tonight, and the Knicks, of course, trying to chase down the Pacers for the number 3 spot in the Eastern Conference. They're down by 1 game on the loss side, and they were down by 2 at the half to the Bucks, who have lost 15 of their last 16. We listen now to Jim Blaney and John McLaughlin.
We welcome those of you joining us on TNT, Bucks and the Knicks here at the Bradley Center in Milwaukee. Knicks lead it 51-46. The Bucks led it at the half 46-44, but the Knicks have come out and scored all the points so far here in the second half. And right now the Knicks enjoying a 51-46 lead.
That foul was on Johnny Newman, and the Bucks have had a little bit of a drought here offensively. They started the game with an offensive drought, got into a hole. They came back out of it with some good defense, and now they're looking at a real deficit. The Knicks doing a good job at stepping up their defense and then scoring almost every possession.
Bucks have yet to score here in the second half. They now trail by 7. Lee Mayberry into the lane, kicks it off of the baseline. Newman had it tipped away, and then Newman made the play blocking the pass, but the Knicks will keep possession.
Terry Cummings, who had a great second quarter, set to come back in for Benoit Benjamin. Now, hopefully, he can be the factor that he was in that quarter for the Bucks. But it shows you in a blink what can happen in the NBA, especially against a good defensive team like New York.
Oakley kicks it out into the corner. Starks, that three-pointer won't go. Robinson came away with the rebound. 8:20 remaining here in the third quarter.
Bucks 3 turnovers, 0 for 4 from the field in the quarter. Glenn Robinson has not been able to get his game going as of yet. The Knicks keying on he and Vin Baker.
Terry Cummings couldn't hit the shot, but there's the foul by Big Dog. Robinson has 5 in the game.
Bucks with 11 offensive rebounds have done a job there. That's helped their cause.
Ewing with the pass inside. Anthony Mason tracked it down, but he was fouled before he could take the shot.
Mason, very good with the ball, but that's an example of where he's moving off the ball. The Knicks see the floor very well. Ewing, in particular, knows he's going to be double-teamed inside.
Starks kicked it off to Mason. That jumper is good. 55-48 Knicks.
So the New York Knicks down at the break come out full of fire in the third period. They lead the Bucks by 7 at the Bradley Center. A little double dose of bonus coverage here on TNT. Now let's go back to the Hive in Charlotte to Bob and Hubie. And, well, I'm surprised. It's still Chicago by a bunch, guys.
Oh, Ernie, I don't know if you're really being truthful with us. 102-71. Bulls, by the way, only lead by 31. They've cut into this 40-point lead the Charlotte Hornets have while we were away with that bonus coverage. It's out of bounds, 11 seconds on the shot clock. By the way, there's so many things to add here. I wanted to get a chance. I don't know if Bill Hanslick wants me to do this as you look at Michael resting, but Bill Hanslick, one of the terrific assistants, there he is, wanted to wish his dad happy birthday. He's watching Gulf Shores, Alabama tonight. I said, how old's your dad? And he says, oh, around 74, 75. His dad's name's Bob, and I have a feeling he won't be that pleased. His son can't remember how old he is. Let's go with 74. Give him the benefit of the doubt, huh? Hancock with a lay-in and 1. You know, we talk about how bad this night has been for Charlotte, Hubie. Here's a $50,000 shot for one of the fans between quarters. Give me some clinical analysis of this guy's shot.
He's right out of the gym class, and someone told him that he was going to quarterback the team in football this year. And he wanted to prove to that gym teacher that he could spin that ball as well as anyone, all right?
Spoken like a former high school
I would have
coach.
liked to have seen it even shoot it underhand.
You would have booted that guy out of your gym class. He wouldn't even, he'd have been cut from gym. Did you ever cut anybody from gym class?
Hey, I was never a gym class teacher.
Never?
No, I taught business law. Come on,
I forgot about that. Pippen. That's another 3 for Pippen. He has 26 points, has scored 5 triples tonight.
They now have 12 threes in this game. They're 12 for 18 in threes. They've doubled the rebounding in the game. Their advantage is doubled. They forced 13 assists. And it's just a great night. And this guy, that guy who just dunked, he only has 14 assists in this game. That's all he has.
George Zedek, who doesn't get, he's the rookie from UCLA, is the man who had the embarrassing fate of having that ball stolen from him. And Zedek and Rodman, look out.
Look out now.
This has been coming, Hubie.
Yes, it has. And at the other end, there was a massive bump about 3 minutes ago. And then there was, both guys went to the floor. And I thought it was something was going to happen at that time. But let's face it, Dennis cannot afford another, how shall I say, any kind.
Bad moment.
Yeah, a bad moment, but major thing here. Now, you can see it right there.
He threw an elbow.
Yeah, that's been going on now. Zedek is not stepping back. I have not seen Zedek step back from anyone, and we've done about 7 of their games this year.
Right. So watch out for that. 111-74. Another reason to keep watching. The heavyweight tilt between Rodman and Zedek. Off Rodman's foot. Oops. And that foul, on Anthony Goldwire. Actually, no foul. They're giving the ball to Charlotte. And Rodman jogging all the way over to his seat. Here you go.
Yeah, I see. That's
on goal wire.
Yeah, get him out of the game right now.
Right.
There's 7 minutes, 35 seconds to go. You don't need him in there right now. Let's go second unit. Let's see what all the young guys can do here.
Geiger has it stripped away. Off Geiger, Chicago ball.
Well, this is the kind of night it has been. Turnovers, flub balls, bad shots. It's just been a very, very frustrating night for Charlotte.
For the fans, particularly. Hornets have 16 turnovers. Only shot
yes.
41%.
Mr. Cali, rookie out of the University of Alabama. Another power forward, by the way, out of the University of Alabama.
He played with McDice, and you almost never heard of Cappy.
And also you have Ori out of there, and then the long line of years and years and years.
Picked off by Curry. Open man Zidek.
Big charge.
You know his story from former Czechoslovakia. His father was a European player, the best, they say, at one time in the European leagues of years ago, and 4 years at UCLA and Zidek with Charlotte. Played very well at the beginning of the season, started several games, but has really hit a wall and not played well in the second half at all. Lead back to 40. Geiger. 6:20 to go in this ball game.
Now, Matt Geiger has just had a terrific year once he was traded up here from Miami, and it's a crime tonight because he's not had an opportunity to really show the type of stats that he has been putting up at that big forward position.
All right, we have a timeout on the floor. 6:04 to go as Matt goes to the sideline, and the Hornets are down 38.
Some people say I've got too much on my mind. Movies, music, toys, correction. There's only one thing in my head. The championship. The championship. Because I got 10 fingers and no rings. And I love jewelry. That's what's on my mind. This is my planet.
You got room for a brother on your planet.
Stihl, maker of the #1 selling brand of chainsaw worldwide, also makes a full line of trimmers with enough power to handle almost any size job. It could be one of the more useful tools you'll ever own. Available in Stihl territory, starting at $79.95.
Have you ever wondered what's inside stuff?
Should we show them?
Shaquille O'Neal as a rapping genie. Not bad, huh?
You know how to dance, huh?
Uh-huh. You know what? I can even jam on a mud.
NBA Inside Stuff, Saturday on NBC.
Magic and the Lakers take on the Nuggets Tuesday at 8 on TNT.
Now it's time for Dutch Boy in the paint. A little bit of a special edition tonight. There's the rebounding differential between Chicago and Charlotte, but lifetime in the paint. 39 years between them, Edwards and Parrish. And after the Dutch Boy in the paint, let's go to Craig Sager, who's with Charlotte owner George Shinn.
Bob, you mentioned the 21,000 fans who haven't been real noisy tonight, but nobody's watching this loss more painfully than the owner, George Shinn. And obviously, this has to be a big disappointment, down by this many points, matching possibly the worst game ever. That was your opening game when you lost by 40.
Well, it's very discouraging, but, you know, you have to have hope, and we do have an opportunity to get better. We've got a lot of work to do during the summer, and we plan to do that. So, you know, you can't be discouraged. This type thing happens, and I've been in the league for 9 years, and you know, you got to expect this type thing. You don't want it to happen, but it does, and you got to just pull yourself together and just keep going.
A lot of people are saying you'd be better off not making the playoffs because not only would you get Miami's draft pick, but you'd get to keep your own, whereas if you make the playoffs, you have to send that to Milwaukee.
Well, obviously, there's some advantages in not making the playoffs, but our goal is to make the playoffs. We want to do it, and guys still have some hope. But it obviously, as you see in this, that it discourages you. But, you know, you've got to keep believing and have the hope that you can. But if you don't, obviously there's some prizes out there that could come your way. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
About a year ago, we were talking about the fact that Orlando and Charlotte will be battling for the Eastern Championship for a decade. You trade Alonzo Mourning, Michael Jordan comes back, and now you're battling for the 8th spot in the East. Any second thoughts about the Mourning trade now?
Well, no, we did what we had to. We tried to make the thing work, and it couldn't and wouldn't. So, you know, you just can't cry over spilt milk. You just go forward, and we think we did as good as we could do under the circumstances. Matt Geiger's played real well for us. Glenn Rice has. And obviously the Khalid Reed situation enabled us to get Kenny Anderson. So, you know, we feel like that we've done real well with a bad situation. And unfortunately, with the league the way it's going now, you have to accept those situations and just do what's best for you and move forward.
Alan Bristow obviously has been in and out of talk about losing his job if he doesn't make the playoffs. You have to make the decision. If you don't make the playoffs, does the coaching staff change?
Well, that's a decision really that Bob Bass will make, but we plan to evaluate the team at the end of the season and make a decision at that point in time. I think it's a little premature to make that decision at this point in the game.
Tough schedule coming up. You got to believe, though, that George Shinn wants his team to get back to be a winning team, and it's a matter of time before it happens. Let's go back now to Bob and Hubie.
Thank you, Craig. That was a pretty weak endorsement, Shinn, of his coaching staff. So you can read what you want into that. 120-83, the Bulls, as this is the last 4 minutes, 41 seconds of garbage time, which really started after the first 3 minutes when the Bulls, in the first 4 minutes, I should say, took a 20-0 lead.
Well, you can see they have a tough schedule. At the home with Miami and Orlando, those games will be toss-ups. The Miami game, they need that one because that's a 2-gamer. Away, you're looking at Cleveland and Chicago, Indiana and New York, who will also be battling. So they have a very tough road to hoe here. I'm not saying you can't get it done, but they have to play much better basketball than we're seeing tonight. Now, I like what Shinn said about the trade because there was no way that they could sign Mourning. They did the best they could. And when you think that you got Rice and Geiger, plus you're going to get a first-round draft choice. All right, so there was nothing they could do about that. They came out of that all right. And his point is what I always say. There are 5 games a year that you can do nothing about.
This is one.
And that's absolutely right. Unfortunately, it's coming at a very bad time, but it happened. All right, and you just got to forget about this and get back to knitting the very next game.
Unfortunately, Charlotte has to go knit in Cleveland tomorrow night.
Now that's a tough one.
And then they go to play in the Bulls on Monday at Chicago.
Yeah, that's hard because Mike Fritzella has Cleveland playing great basketball.
And it's important for Cleveland.
That's right. And Chicago, once again, at home, absolute murder this season. 37 in a row. And by the way, Chicago, they missed 3 threes in this game. All right, so we should be climbing all over that stat. They're only 13 for 19.
Here's Caffey. Down to Simpkins, puts it on the floor and loses it. Zedek came away with it. Hancock stripped it. 120-84 Bulls, 3:48 to go in the game. Darren Hancock. Addison missing from the corner. Place emptying out here. I would add, in terms of the George Shinn interview, which I thought Craig did a very nice job asking some tough questions there. You know, you also have to ask if you're analyzing what went wrong with a team that a lot of people thought might have ended up being the first best expansion team originally, the Charlotte Hornets. But how about signing Larry Johnson to a $74 million contract? That put him in a hole there.
Yes, it did, because it did not give them negotiating power. And then he comes up with a bad lower back problem. The $7 million was way out of line to begin with. And then he, as you know, he had that bad back for the entire year. And now he does not have the explosive lift anymore. But I want to go back to another point. Everyone was saying how great they were with Alonzo Mourning and Larry Johnson. Come on, they only got to the second round, and then again, they never really challenged in the second round.
They had that great playoff series 3 years ago against Chicago, which got everybody's hopes going.
But
that's
Bob,
what
they were a very bad defensive rebounding team with Alonzo Mourning.
And then, yes, you're right about that.
They were the #1 team in the league in giving up offensive rebounds, 17 a game. So, you know, that's wishful thinking, and people putting them at a level that they could never attain with that team anyway. They needed more help.
And they needed Orlando not to get those #1 lottery picks that they got, and that really made the deal, getting, of course, Shaquille O'Neal and Anthony Hardaway, and that separated Orlando from the expansion pack.
Are you ready? Let's go. Get out and play. Give whatever you've got. You like that? Huh. Gatorade. Good. You're gonna get thirsty. Gatorade. Life is a sport. Tough day. Drink it up.
Is this your idea of a body shop? A&B Auto Repair Centers has a surprise for you. They have free loaners, 24-hour towing, and a lifetime warranty. And they offer you this unique promise.
Here at A&B, we take pride in our services. If we can't restore your car to its pre-accident condition, I'll buy it.
A&B has 2 convenient locations, 150 West Ivy and 14200 South San Pedro Street, bringing pride back into the community.
I finally have the place all to myself. It's wonderful. It's so peaceful. I can actually listen to the music I like. And I feel safe in here. You know, the Ford Windstar has over 40 different safety features. In fact, when the government did their crash test, this was the only minivan that got 5 stars for front passenger protection.
Mom, Alex is in my room again. What?
Did I mention how quiet it is?
Well, the Bulls about to go to 65-8. This will be their 5th win in a row on this current streak of 122-88. The big 3 tonight.
They did it all tonight. Not only did they shoot high percentages, but they made their threes, and then topped it all off with a great night in assists.
And all with limited minutes because of the blowout. Michael Jordan has been resting a lot tonight. Pippen with 28 points, and Kukoc had 34 last night, so that's 54 points in 2 nights for Tony Kukoc.
And I think that this is a great tribute to this team when you realize they got in here after 3 a.m. in the morning, and then we're in the building for a shoot-around at 12 noon. So that's also a good sign that you like to see that the best team in the league was just not mailing this one in. They came in and prepared for tonight, went back, took the afternoon off, then naturally came in this evening, and well, what a defensive show this was.
You rarely see a team that Michael Jordan or the Magic Johnson plays on mail a game off. Their iron wills will do it. The coaching staff doesn't. You have to give the coaching staff credit, too. Phil Jackson, when he took over this team, by the way, didn't have much respect as a coach. They said, sure, you got Michael Jordan, but Phil Jackson has definitely earned it. 72% winning percentage with the Chicago Bulls. Going after a 4th championship. That's all you need to say about Phil Jackson's coaching. Hancock. Minute 19 to go in the game. Bulls, by the way, season high 37 assists tonight. There's the Zen master. Phil Jackson has written a book that should have been titled, I forget the title, it should have been called Basketball, let's see, Zen and the Art of Basketball Maintenance. It's about kind of like the Zen. He's a big believer in reading Eastern and Oriental philosophies. He wrote a book about how basketball is the spirituality of basketball. I read it, and I won't ask who else read it here in attendance tonight. Minute 17 to go. Minute 9 to go, maybe. Fortunately. And the disappointing thing here is this is not going to be a record-setting blowout either. The biggest one in the history of the NBA was 68 points when Cleveland beat Miami, 148-80. But this one is going to be about 35, 37 points. Just ugly. Three games next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. on Turner Sports, TNT on Tuesday and Friday, and TBS on Wednesday night. And they're really good games, too. All the games have playoff possibilities and implications. Hubie and I will be in Orlando next Friday for Indiana at Orlando. Zedek with 28 seconds left. George has 5.
You know, George, as you said, Bob, he played well early. He was getting about 18 minutes a game in the first third of the season. Coaching staff felt that he did hit a little bit of a block. It's his rookie year, but he'll adjust.
Here's Raphael Addison. Inside the NBA comes up right after this. Tonight's highlights around the league. Is this finally the year for the Seattle Sonics? A preview of the Bulls Magic game on Sunday. That'll be aired on our NBA partners NBC, by the way, the second of a doubleheader. And the U.S. women's basketball team in their quest for gold in the Olympics. You saw a brief visual tease there of Craig Sager and his interview with Michael Jordan.
Hi, Michael. Phil Jackson finally had a criticism, said you shouldn't be on the court so soon. 20 points to start a game. That's an all-time Bulls record, yet you got in at 3:15 in the morning. Where did you guys get all this energy?
Well, I think, you know, we just wanted to come out and get out of the blocks quick. We felt this team was going to sit back here and waiting for us. It's going to be a playoff atmosphere. And, you know, they didn't come with the level of intensity that we felt they would. And we got out of the blocks pretty quick.
A lot of teams have the talent to win games. How many teams have the intelligence and the teamwork to challenge the Bulls for the title?
Well, there's quite a few teams have the intelligence and certainly have the coaching staff to challenge us. And quite naturally, we can be our own worst enemies in a sense because we feel we can play the type of basketball to win championships, but you know, you got to go out there and do it consistently.
I know you have 50 tickets for family and friends. We'll let you go. Thanks a lot for being with us.
Appreciate it.
Let's go back to Bob Neal and Hubie Brown.
The most important of the 50, of course, is Mom Dolores in the crowd here tonight, watching Michael get off to an incredible start. 3 steals in the first 3 minutes. Chicago 55% from the field, 13 of 20 from three-point range. Out-rebounded the Hornets by 18, etc., etc.